Hey guys, I've been messing around with a few of the settings on the microphone. I think before I had kind of the microphone volume too high, and now I'm going to try this at about 50% or just slightly above 50%. I have to go very shortly, so I'm going to try and get a quick 5-0 game in, and our opponent is SchoolboyQ. Just telling my opponent good luck and that I'll put the video on YouTube. Alright, so what do we have here? d4, c6, knight f3, d5. And let's see if they exchange on d5, so e captures d5. Then I would play c captures d5. And they don't. So I have the opportunity now to enter into kind of, not an endgame, but a queenless middle game. If I want to, by capturing, and then they would capture, and we'd have the queens exchanged. But instead, I want to try and keep the game complex and allow my opponent to go astray, effectively. Right. Exchange bishop for the knight. Okay, and now I'll play e5, and if they capture now, I'll just recapture with the pawn, and I'll have a nice pawn center. But they choose not to recapture. So let's just develop the bishop. A little concerned about rook g1 exactly. So maybe I won't be castling kingside, and rather I might castle queenside. Let's just see how the game unfolds. White does have the potential idea of pinning my knight with bishop g5. However, there are worse things in the world. That's a loose pawn, which I can consider attacking. Let's hit at this b pawn and see how white responds. So they elect not to guard that, which is slightly strange. Now I can just capture the b2 pawn, and if white tries to go rook b2, I'll just capture. So here I have the in-between move, queen capture c3 check, and then if the queen inserts herself, I will capture the queen, giving check. The king will have to capture, and then finally, afterwards, I will capture the bishop last. So I very much like my position. I'm up a piece, and I have a much better pawn structure. Certainly this can't be too helpful for white if they're giving themselves another island. So when you think about the endgame, you have pawn islands, and that's pretty much where you have isolated pawns. So here is one pawn island, here is a second pawn island, Here's yet a third pawn island, my apologies, and here's the fourth pawn island. So that can't be recommended. Now I really just want to develop my pieces and limit white's scope. So notice how white has their pawns on light squares. So I want to try and keep that fixed. So one idea I have is bringing my knight from a6 to c5. And also, yeah, so they're going to actually give up a pawn to get some play, which I'll gladly accept. And notice how now the rook hangs on the corner in a1. I'll just go ahead and pick up that rook. Probably either rook captures a1 or bishop captures. So my next move will very likely be to castle queenside, which will come with check. And then I can win this pawn here on e4. Okay, this move is leaves a little bit to be desired, as now the bishop will be immediately hit at and will need to retreat now. Although maybe I could have considered first capturing, but I kind of had this idea of just queenside castling. But even still, just bringing the rook over directly is fine. So if the king comes here, that'll be a fork on both pieces, on the king and the bishop. Let's just go ahead and capture. This position is, of course, outright winning, and my opponent is even low on time. Bringing the rook to the second rank. Alright, let's not even worry about trying to find the quickest mate. Excellent. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, please feel free to provide feedback. Have a good day.